Hi, thanks for watching. Now, although there are many different ways to generate new customer leads for your business, consumer habits have shifted over the last couple of years since the pandemic, and I wanted to show you how you can leverage local internet search volume to bring all the leads you can handle in through your website for free. Well, basically at whatever it costs to keep your site live. Now, all these leads will be coming exclusively to you, unlike third-party sites like Angie's and HomeAdvisor. And so you can see there's value in it, I'm going to show you the amount of traffic and leads coming to your top competitors, so that way you'll know what to expect. So for comparison, I've just taken your website as well as the top local results when I searched commercial cleaning in Mass, as well as commercial cleaning in Boston. I just take the top companies and I put them all into this tool that I use, and it shows me all the information that Google uses to determine your position in search results. So as you can see, just based on some of these numbers, why these companies are outranking yours. But let me just briefly go over what these numbers mean. So as we go through your site, you can see what changes need to be made and how they'll affect its rank. Now, when Google is determining how to rank a website, it uses two factors. The first is what's called the authority or trust that it has in your site. This basically boils down to a popularity contest because this authority is gained when other domains or websites refer back to yours and then they create a link called a backlink. This acts as an endorsement that Google uses to build trust because others are vouching for you. So to give you a quick example, if say the local news station did an article on their website and it was the top 10 best commercial cleaners in Massachusetts, and in that article the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website, that would be considered one backlink from one referring domain. Now these backlinks can come from many different sources besides press releases. That includes blogs, editorials, guest posts. One very strong and important type is what's called a citation, which is any time that your name, address, and phone number are listed in an online directory. Those include Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau. These directories are usually always free. It just takes some time to find them, register your business, and then input the information exactly as it's shown in Google. So looking back over, you can see based on the number of websites and how many links they've created, why Google is placing so much trust in these. And you can also see there's a big difference in numbers, and that has to do with the keyword and the area that you're competing in. But it is not just a matter of the sheer quantity of these links. Quality also has a lot to do with it. So we want to make sure that we're linking back to sites that are relative to your service industry, local at the very least inside the United States, so they're not considered spammy. They just need to be trustworthy so that way Google can transfer that trust through the link to you. Now, the second factor for ranking your page is the content on the site. So as you can see here, you're being picked up for 4 keywords, 3 of which are what we call branded, meaning they already know your business name and they're searching for you. So that's not basically going to be any new traffic. What we're looking for is what we call a buyer intent keyword. So if somebody is searching commercial cleaning in Franklin, assuming that means Franklin, Mass, because Franklin is also a very popular town anywhere else, that would be somebody that's actively searching for a cleaner to hire. So let me just take one of these other pages just so I can kind of give you an example of how it works. If we take a look in here, we can see all the keywords and phrases that are being typed into Google search that Google is associating with this page. And then it shows me the volume, the number of times per month they're being searched. So this is where we do a little bit of market research just to find the highest volume keywords relative to the services that you offer and in the areas you offer them in to make sure that you're being found for those searches. So just to use an example, cleaning services Massachusetts. That's being searched 80 times a month. If you had this keyword associated with your page and your page was ranking, those 80 people per month would be seeing your site every time that they search. Now, Google Analytics says that of total search volume, approximately 10% should convert into a lead, whether they're calling you directly or filling out your contact form on the website. So that's a potential of up to 8 leads per month. Now, obviously, you're not going to close every single one of those deals, and the scope and size and profit margin varies greatly between jobs, but you can just see how the sheer volume of leads coming in can definitely add up to some revenue at the end of the month and at the end of the year. And that's just off one keyword phrase. So we repeat that same process for all the highest volume keywords relative to the services that you offer, making sure that those are being included on your site. However, there is a formula that Google uses to find these keywords. So if we take a look at the site here, as far as layout goes, I mean, we've got the typical header, which is great. What I will say is a majority of people nowadays are searching from a mobile device. So we want to make sure that your site is mobile optimized. So we want to have some kind of click to call button or click to email, something that's clickable where they can just hit it with their thumb on their screen and it'll automatically either start dialing or create an email, maybe even a contact form. However, as far as Google is concerned, it doesn't care about the layout of your site. Being a computer, the first thing it's going to do is just come in and count all the words and text on the page. Now, we generally recommend a minimum of about 1,000 to 1,500 words on a home page, only because the more information you have, the more of an expert you seem, and then the more likely Google is to recommend you. Kind of like the difference between a single book and then an entire series of encyclopedia. Now, while Google is counting the words, it's also searching for those keywords. So any of the services that you want to offer and in the areas you want to be found in. However, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play because you're only allowed to have one of those keywords for every 100 to 150 words of text on the page. So the more services you want to be found for means that the more content that we need to add in order to back that up. And then to go even one step further, Google is really putting an emphasis on the quality of the content. So now it's actually reading the content on your page. So in order to qualify a specific keyword, the 100 to 150 words of content has to be directly describing that keyword in order for Google to pick it up and qualify it to bring you up in the search results. So this is where I would suggest if you're trying to find more buyer intent specific keywords, we want to add those here and then get some content to back them up. If you want to be found in more locations, we usually recommend adding a location back page, meaning it would be an entire page dedicated to all the keywords just for a specific location. So for instance, if you are servicing the Boston area, we'd want to find all the Boston keywords and make a page that would be, cleanwithevergreen.com/Boston or /services/Boston, whatever it may be. And then all the keywords on that page would be all about Boston. So that way Google can see that page is 100% relative to the search results and then easier to rank that page as opposed to your home page in multiple locations. So that's the way that you can I don't want to say cheat the system, but in order to be found in more than one location than what's on your homepage, you really need to have a location back page. Hey, Wrights Farm, that's in my hometown right there. So how it will look like in a search result, obviously the first thing that's ever going to come up is these ads. These are all pay-per-click. Depending on how much that click costs, could be anywhere from a few dollars to 30, 40, $50. Then there's the map section, which is a pretty important area to try to get into, only because a lot of traffic will come to these top 3 sites, but it is location based. So obviously the further you get away, depending on the keyword that you're using, will determine how narrow this map field is. This has to do with your Google business profile, not your website. That's free from Google. Anybody can sign up and create one. And there are ways to optimize it so that way you can try to get higher up in this list. You want to make sure you fill out as much information as possible, every single field you can. The description of your business, you usually try to stick some keywords in there as well. You definitely want to get as many of those citations, your name, address, and phone number. You want to appear in more directories than anybody else on this list. And then Google rewards activity. So you want to make posts and add pictures to this profile on a regular basis. And then to go one step further, Google can't understand what a picture is taken of, but it can understand the image, the embedded information in a picture. So we actually geotag every single picture that we post to add a longitude and latitude modifier, so that way Google can understand where the picture is of, so it can understand your service area. So that way, if somebody is searching anywhere in the vicinity of where one of that picture was taken or posted, it can bring up you in this map section easier. However, underneath that, this is what's called the organic search results. Now, this is where the more authority or trust that Google has in your site, the higher up on the list you're going to rank. So this is where getting more of those links or referrals from other websites helps you climb and outrank the competition. And then regardless of their location, as long as you have that keyword included on your site and your site's ranking, you're going to be the first click and the first call to get that lead for the business. Now, I hope this information was helpful and just shows you how you can scale some of your online presence. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, or if you want me to go into any further details. We could talk about some of your goals for the business, and then I could do some research on my end to find out what it would take for you to reach those. But I always just appreciate getting feedback, just to find out if information like this was useful for you. So please let me know what you thought. Thanks, and I appreciate your time.